What's up, guys? This is another technical drawing multiple choice questions video, and the topic for today is technical sketching. So in case you don't know what technical sketching is, it's basically drawing with your hands and trying to communicate your idea using either pencil or a pen or any kind of thing that you can write with. Okay, so you're basically portraying information on a piece of paper, and if you show that drawing to someone else, they will know how to build the object that you are drawing, whether it be a house or simple things such as a stapler or a pencil. You're making a pencil or anything that you're making, you should be able to sketch it technically. Okay, all right, so we're going to go through 10 questions. All right, so the first question says, this type of solid is egg-shaped. So the solid is egg-shaped and can be created by revolving an ellipse around one of its axes. Okay, so axis has to do with x, y, z. If you did graphs, you'll know x and y axis, and if we use CAD, you would know that you have the z axis, which is the third dimension. So if you want to draw 3D drawings, you have the x, the y, and the z. Okay, so the first option is an ellipsoid, and this is an example of an ellipsoid, and it has 3 axes, x, y, and z, as you can see in the drawing. Let me pull up my laser pointer. So you have the y-axis, you have the x-axis right here coming across, and you have the z-axis going up and down. Okay, so if you did mathematics, you might be familiar with the x and the y-axis. Okay, so 2 axes, and then you add the z to it also. All right, the next one is called a torus. Okay, a torus, and this is a circular shape which has a central axis, which is the center of a circle, and as you expand it, it turns into a tube. Okay, third one is a cone, and you might be familiar with the cone, and the fourth is a cylinder. Okay, so if you look at all the shapes, you'll know which one is egg-shaped, and you'll know the answer for number 1. Okay, all right, so that would be the answer for number 1. Number 2, some of the common terms used to describe technical drawing include drafting, engineering graphics, engineering drawing, or is it all of the above? Okay, and the answer would be that terms that are used are all 3 of the above, and you can call them drafting, drafters, engineer graphics, or engineer drawings. Okay, so it would be all of the above. All right, number 3 says, an architect relies on a dash to complete the set of technical drawings used in the design of an office building. And it doesn't have to be only an office building, it can be any building. So an architect often relies on is it technical illustrator, is it artist, is it a drafter, or is it the construction superintendent? So the architect would design the drawing, and then he would rely on the drafter to do all of the drawings that is necessary to build the building. Okay, so he would use C, the drafter. Right, and these are examples of draftsmen. So once the design is finalized, the draftsman would go either onto his paper or on a computer and finish all the drawings. And you have a lot of drawings that you have to draw in order to complete a building or an office building or something like that. Okay, all right, so answer would be drafter. All right, number 4, in oblique sketches, The most commonly used, I'm gonna show you what an oblique sketch is. The most commonly used angles for receding lines, meaning the lines that are going away from you, are 15 to 30 degrees, 25 to 30 degrees, 30 to 45 degrees, or 45 to 60 degrees. So I'm gonna show you some different types of drawings. And the first one is an oblique projection. So an oblique projection on oblique sketches are usually drawn in 45-degree angles. And as you can see here, this is the receding line. So this line is going away from you. This line is your baseline. So the receding line is the one that is going away from you. And the angle for the receding line is 45 degrees. Sometimes we use 30 degrees, which is the isometric projection, or 45 degrees, which is the oblique projection. The oblique projection can also be in 30 also. So the answer would actually be C, 30 or 45 degrees. And here's another example. So you have the top, the front, the size, the side, and the angle is typically 45, but you can use between 30 or 45 degrees. Okay. All right. Number 5 says a drafter who develops technical drawings of an highway. A highway is a very, very, long road. Overpass would most likely be a dash drafter. A drafter who develops technical drawings of a highway overpass would most likely be a architectural, civil, mechanical, or process piping drafter. Okay, and the answer would be a civil drafter. Okay, so a civil drafter is someone who deals with roads, bridges, that like large projects. Okay, so the difference between a civil and an architectural drafter, the architectural drafter would deal with residential buildings, offices, and so on, and the mechanical drafter would deal with let's say you want to design a car or anything that has to do with making objects. Okay, it doesn't have to be a house, but making like bottles or that kind of stuff. Okay, so they need a mechanical drafter. Process piping has to do with factories that has like lots and lots of pipes, so you need a drafter to draw up all the piping plans for that factory or industrial processing plant. Okay, so the answer would be a civil drafter. Civil drafter. Okay. All right. So number 6 says these types of projectors converge at vanishing point. These types of projectors converge at a vanishing point. Okay. A, perspective. B, parallel. C, orthographic. Or D, oblique. Okay. So orthographic is a projection, or it's like a shadow. A projection is like a shadow that is sent onto an object. So you have the original object and then it's repeated. Okay, so the orthographic drawing, as you can see here, this is the object right here, and then it's repeated upon a certain base or wall or anything that is flat. Okay, so the orthographic projection would actually be similar to the parallel. So you can group these two together, the parallel and the orthographic, where it sends a parallel image from the object onto the surface area. Okay. The oblique projection, however, would be at an angle. Okay. So as we spoke about in the previous question about oblique drawings, you have a receding line. So the receding line is not parallel, but it is at an angle. And we said that the angle can be 30 to 45 degrees. So difference between this one, as you can see, and this one is the angle is a bit higher. Okay, so this one would be parallel, this one would be maybe 20 to 30 degrees higher than the original object. And then you have the perspective drawing. So the perspective drawing, you start with the object and then the object actually recedes until it vanishes. Okay, and that point where it vanishes is called the vanishing point, as you can see. Okay, so the question asks, these types of projectors converge, and converge means they come together at a vanishing point. Okay, or at a small, very, very small point. So the answer would be perspective. Okay, all right, number 7 says a dash is the person responsible for verifying that the drawings in a project set or set of project drawings are free of mistakes. Okay, a dash is the person responsible for verifying that the drawings in a project are free of mistakes. So as you can see here, the lady is showing the other lady the drawing and what is wrong or what is right or what can be changed and so on. Okay, so that person is called a checker. Okay, a checker. So they check to see if everything makes sense, everything is right, when before the drawing goes to the contractor on the site. Nothing, there's no problems with the drawing. Okay, so person is called a checker. All right, number 8. This type of solid has two bases that are parallel, equal polygons. Okay, so a base is basically the bottom of an object. The base is the bottom of an object. Okay, so this type or this shape has two bases that are parallel or equal polygons. Okay, so a pyramid, as you can see here, it has two bases, but these bases are equal in size, so it cannot be that one. You would have two bases that are parallel but different. Okay, so this one, as you can see, has two bases, and these two are parallel, these two are parallel. Okay, so this is what you call a prism. Okay, so the first one was a pyramid, the second one was a prism. This one is a cone. It only has one base, which is a circle. There's no parallel shape, parallel line happening there. And this is called a torus. And as you can see, it cannot be the torus. Okay. All right. So the answer would be the prism. All right. Number 9 says an oil refinery relies on which type of drafter to maintain and update the technical piping drawings or the drawings of pipes used for the construction and maintenance of the facility. So if you have a oil refinery, so as you know, those oil refineries have a lot of pipes sticking out of them and all around inside of them because they have to transfer the oil and filter the oil and so on. Okay, so they need engineers to actually repair those and keep them working properly. So you need drawings to actually know what size pipes need fixing, what needs to be replaced, and so on. So the person that is used for that kind of drawing would not be the architectural drafter, it would not be the civil drafter, and it would not be the electrical drafter. So it has to be the process piping guy. Okay. All right, so the answer would be C. All right, and this is an example of a plant that, and you can see there's a lot of pipes. So you want to have somebody who is versed or trained in that area in order to maintain and keep the facility in good working condition. Okay, and the last one, when designing a home for a client, one of the most important pre-design, and pre-design means before you design anything, considerations that an architect needs to address is, so before the architect does any designing or anything, the architect needs to know what? Does he need to know how much money the client is willing to spend? Does he need to know the site on which the house is to sit, the nearest grocery store, or whether or not there is a curb and a gutter system. Okay, which one would be the most important pre-design consideration? And if we do an elimination process, of course, it's nice to have a grocery store nearby, but that's not the most important thing. Whether the land is on a curb or gutter system is important, but it's not the most important thing. And between A and B, those might be the most two important things. And the answer would be the site on which the house is to sit, or the site that the building is going to be constructed. You need to know where it's located, the slope of the land, the type of soil, the weather conditions usually on that soil, and so on. Okay, so you need to go to the site and see everything that can affect the site according to what house you're gonna build or what kind of house you're gonna build before you design anything. Okay, so the answer would be B. Okay, all right, so I think that's it. Yes, thank you for watching, and if you understood those 10 questions, hit the like button, and I'll see you on the next one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there's tons of videos to come. Okay, all right, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.